Hi, I'm Sadie. I've always been the responsible one in the family, the one who works twice as hard for half the recognition. Story of my life, especially when it comes to my mother Eleanor and sister Victoria. You found a date yet for the wedding? Megan asked, scrolling through dresses on her phone. My best friend since third grade knows exactly how much planning this wedding has taken. 3 months and counting. Jake keeps saying we should just elope, but I want the real thing, you know? After what you went through with that jerk Adam, you deserve the fairy tale. Jake's the good guy you've been waiting for. I smiled, thinking about how Jake proposed last year. Nothing flashy, just a quiet moment at the lake where we had our first date. That's what I love about him. He doesn't need an audience. Did you tell your mom you're dress shopping today? I rolled my eyes. Yeah, and guess what she said? Make sure it's slimming. Then went on about how Victoria looked like a model at her fitting. Classic Eleanor. The pattern was so predictable it was almost comical. When we were kids, Victoria got the dance lessons while I got library cards. For graduation, she got a car. I got luggage, the not-so-subtle hint to move out. After hitting 6 different boutiques, I was about to give up. Then I saw it, an off-shoulder A-line with delicate beading that caught the light just right. That's it, Megan whispered. That's your dress. The price tag made me wince, but I'd been saving from every paycheck at the architecture firm for months. Try it on before someone snatches it, Megan urged. When I stepped out of the dressing room, even the consultant got quiet. Your fiancé is going to lose his mind, she said. I couldn't stop smiling as I handed over my credit card. 4 months of overtime hours well spent. That evening, Jake called as I was driving to my mother's house. Did you find anything today? Maybe, but no peeking until the big day. You know I'd think you're beautiful in a paper bag? You're sweet, but trust me, this is better than a paper bag. I pulled into Eleanor's driveway, carefully carrying my treasure in its garment bag. There she is, the bride-to-be, Eleanor said as I walked in. Victoria's just left. She's stressing about centerpieces now. I ignored the subtle comparison. Mom, can I store my wedding dress in your spare closet? Our apartment is tiny and I don't want Jake to accidentally see it. Of course, darling. What's it look like? I unzipped the bag just enough to show her the fabric. It's nice. Not quite what I pictured for you, but nice. 2 weeks later, I stopped by to show Megan the dress before her business trip. Mom, where's my dress? It's not in the guest room closet. Eleanor walked in with that look, the one that always preceded bad news about something happening to my stuff but never Victoria's. Oh, sweetie, I've been meaning to call you. My stomach dropped. I knew that tone. Where is my dress? Well, Victoria had a disaster with her gown. Red wine all over it. The designer can't remake it in time. She was here crying her eyes out. I ran to the closet, throwing open the door. Empty. My perfect dress, the one I'd searched for endlessly and paid for with my own hard-earned money, was gone. You gave my wedding dress to Victoria? My voice shook as I stared at Eleanor in disbelief. Now don't overreact. Your sister was in a bind. Her wedding is to Charles, for heaven's sake. His family practically owns half the county. I paced across the living room, digging my nails into my palms. I don't care if she's marrying the president. That was my dress that I paid for with my money. Language, Sadie. We can find you something else. That discount shop by the mall has nice options. The front door opened, and in waltzed Victoria with shopping bags. She froze when she saw my face. Oh, you told her? Where is it? I want it back now. Victoria set down her bags with a theatrical sigh. It's at the tailor's. They're taking it in and shortening the train. They're what? Those beads were hand-sewn. It's just a dress, Sadie. Don't be so dramatic. Eleanor stepped between us. Victoria, show your sister the alterations. Victoria smugly showed me a photo of herself in my dress. The neckline was changed, the waistline cinched differently, and several inches had been cut from the bottom. See? It's completely different now. Charles's mother said it's more appropriate for the country club. My knees went weak. I saved for months. 4 months of overtime. And I appreciate it. Victoria chirped. It's the perfect base for what I needed. Base? It was perfect already. Eleanor patted my shoulder. Victoria's wedding is a significant social event. Your little ceremony at the lake can be more casual. Little ceremony? My wedding isn't some backyard barbecue. But Jake is a plumber. He'd probably be uncomfortable with anything too fancy. I grabbed my purse. He's a contractor who owns his business. Not that you've bothered to remember. At least he works for what he has instead of marrying it. Don't be bitter, Victoria called as I left. I slammed the door and called Megan. They did what? She screamed. That's theft. We should call the police. And say what? My mommy took my dress? At the bar, Megan listened as I ranted through 2 glasses of wine. I've spent my life being second place to Victoria. Remember my graduation? Eleanor left early because Victoria had a cold. Your mom's always been Team Victoria. Later, Jake held me while I cried. We can find another dress, babe. It's not about the money, You wouldn't understand. Try me. They've always treated me like I don't matter, and I'm sick of it. Jake kissed my forehead. Then tell them to kick rocks. It's not that simple. Seems simple to me. I stared at the ceiling, anger hardening inside me. Maybe I need to speak their language for once. What does that mean? It means I'm done being the bigger person. If Victoria wants my dress so badly, she can have it, but it'll be the last thing she gets from me. The next morning, I called Eleanor with my most apologetic voice. Mom, I'm sorry about yesterday. I overreacted. Well, I'm glad you've come to your senses. Victoria's been worried sick about ruining your relationship. Sure she has. I rolled my eyes while keeping my tone sweet. Is her wedding still set for May 12th? Yes, just 8 weeks away. The Harrington estate will be gorgeous with the spring flowers. Perfect. That left my July wedding as an afterthought, exactly as planned. I'd like to help with her preparations. Maybe we could do lunch Saturday? Megan nearly spat out her coffee when I told her my plan that evening. You're playing nice? After what they did? Revenge isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. I need access. Access to what? I tapped my wine glass thoughtfully. Everything. Their phones, their email passwords, old photo albums, financial records. I'm going to find every dirty little secret they've been keeping. Megan leaned forward. And then what? Then I show up to my wedding in something unforgettable. Over the next few weeks, I became the perfect sister and daughter. I helped Victoria address envelopes while secretly photographing her guest list. I organized Eleanor's home office while copying financial documents showing how she'd paid for Victoria's college, but left me with loans. Sadie, be a dear and pick up my dress from Final Alterations, Victoria commanded one afternoon. I'm getting my nails done and can't possibly carry it. No problem, sis. Anything else? Maybe pick up some sparkling water? The French kind, not that grocery store trash. At her apartment, I noticed a box of childhood memorabilia. While she was in the bathroom, I quickly flipped through it. What are you doing? Victoria appeared suddenly. Just reminiscing. Remember this? I held up an old school award. Whatever. Can you check if Charles called? My phone's charging. The moment she left, I found what I needed. My diary from 10th grade with pages torn out, and letters from Dad that never reached me. That night, I spread my evidence across Jake's kitchen table. Jesus, he whispered, reading through a letter from my father addressed to me that Eleanor had hidden. He wanted to stay in touch after the divorce, but your mom told you he didn't care? And look at this. I showed him bank statements. The trust fund from Grandma that was supposedly for both girls' education? Victoria got it all. Jake's jaw tightened. I knew they played favorites, but this is another level. It's always been this way. But now I have proof. What are you planning, Sadie? I pulled out my phone and showed him a design sketch. I'm having a custom dress made, something that tells our whole family story. That'll cost a fortune. Worth every penny. Plus, I've been collecting videos. Every nasty comment, every time Victoria and Eleanor thought no one was listening. You're not just getting even, are you? I looked at the piles of evidence documenting years of manipulation and lies. I'm getting free. After my wedding, I never want to see either of them again. I'm with you all the way, Jake said, taking my hand. What do you need me to do? Just stand by me at the altar and watch the show. The next day, I met with a designer who specialized in unconventional wedding attire. Can you add hidden pockets for a small projector remote? She raised an eyebrow. Honey, for what you're paying, I could add an entire sound system. This will be a dress no one forgets. I checked my reflection one last time as Megan adjusted my veil. The dress was everything I'd hoped for. Ivory silk with intricate beadwork that caught the light with every movement. 100 times more beautiful than the one Victoria had stolen. You look incredible, Megan whispered. Are you ready for this? More ready than I've ever been for anything. The ceremony went perfectly. Jake's face when he saw me walking down the aisle was worth every penny I'd spent on the replacement dress. I noticed Eleanor and Victoria in the second row, whispering to each other. They'd been surprisingly well behaved since Victoria's wedding last month, probably thinking I'd forgiven and forgotten. They had no idea what was coming. At the reception, I clinked my glass and stood for my speech. The small projector screen was already set up behind me, supposedly for wedding photos. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Family means everything to me. I looked directly at Eleanor and Victoria. And that's why I wanted to share some special memories. I pressed the remote in my hidden pocket. The screen lit up with photos of me as a child, at graduations and achievements, each one showing Eleanor focused on Victoria instead of me. Growing up, I always wondered why I wasn't good enough, why my sister got everything while I got whatever was left over. Eleanor shifted uncomfortably in her seat. I recently found some interesting things while helping organize family paperwork. The screen changed to show financial documents and highlighted text. My education fund that mysteriously disappeared? Transferred to Victoria's account the day after my high school graduation? The letters from my father that I supposedly never received? Hidden in Eleanor's dresser for 20 years? Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jake's parents exchanged shocked glances. And of course, there was my wedding dress. The one I saved for months to buy that Victoria is now wearing pieces of in her wedding album. The screen flashed to a side-by-side comparison of my original dress and Victoria in the altered version. Victoria jumped to her feet. This is ridiculous. You're just jealous of my wedding. Am I? Let's hear what you really think. I pressed the button again and a video played. Victoria and Eleanor laughing about my pathetic dress and how I'd never know they'd planned to take it all along. That's taken out of context. Eleanor sputtered, her face pale. Is this out of context too? Another video played. Eleanor admitting she'd used my inheritance from Grandma to pay for Victoria's breast implants. Victoria's husband, Charles, turned to her with wide eyes. You told me those were natural. I smiled serenely. I'm not sharing this to hurt anyone. I'm sharing it because today is about truth. And the truth is, I don't need people in my life who treat me like this. Eleanor rushed toward me. Sadie, please, you're embarrassing yourself. No, Mom, for once you're the one being exposed. I raised my glass. To my real family, Jake, Megan, and everyone else who's shown me what love actually looks like. The rest of you can stay for cake if you want. But Eleanor and Victoria should probably leave. Your invitations have been officially revoked. Security guards I'd hired appeared at Eleanor's elbows, gently but firmly escorting her and a sobbing Victoria out as guests watched in stunned silence. Jake squeezed my hand. You okay? I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. Never better. 6 months later, Jake and I moved across the country for his new construction contract. I heard through mutual friends that Eleanor's charity board asked her to step down after the videos circulated, and Charles filed for an annulment from Victoria when he discovered more of her lies. As for me, I've never slept better. What would you have done in Sadie's position? Was she justified in publicly exposing her mother and sister at her wedding? Or should family betrayals always be handled privately? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have taken a different approach, or do you think Sadie's public revenge was the perfect response to years of mistreatment? If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic people. New stories uploaded daily.